Hello guys, welcome to Hatsput Economics, Hatsput, and it's your girl Connie. If you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe, hit those buttons right there, and be sure to get up with those notifications so you can get news when I make a new video. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I wanted to really make this video for the main thing of success. And the reason why I felt it was completely paramount is it doesn't matter what we do if we're not united as a community and as a people. And I'm talking to black women. I'm talking to the togetherness of black women. And there's a lot of videos on YouTube that are very, negative and not constructive and doesn't give solutions. I'm not about that. Like I said, I'm about the facts, I'm about the receipts, and most of all, I'm about providing solutions because I really want to see us as a gender move forward like every other gender of every other demographic. So what am I talking about? The title of the video is called The Purge. And I truly feel in order for black women who are like-minded to move forward, you have to do the purge. And so what does that mean? What does it mean to purge? You all seen the movie when they were allowed to go out there and do whatever they want for whatever time because to release themselves. Well, I want you, black women, to release yourself. And if you have a goal, if you have an agenda, no matter where it falls across, no matter what spectrum, you have to do the purge because it's going to be an anchor on your foot. And also, it really matters who you associate. I always tell people I can predict your future. I don't need a crystal ball. Just show me your closest 5 or 10 friends, or show me the 5 or 10 places you spend a predominant amount of your time. That's your future. If nobody in your circle, if nobody in your network is doing anything even remotely close to what you are doing, more than likely, I hate to say it, you're not going to be successful because success is indicative of what's around you. If you're a loner, if you don't have any friends, probably you can get away with it. But if you are associating or spending a lot of time in an area, that's going to be your future. It's not rocket science. So let's talk about the nitty-gritty. Black women, we have to stick together. And if you don't want to stick together, that's perfectly fine. Then you need to be purged. If you see a black woman that's focusing on finance, if you see a black woman that's focusing on economics, if you see a black woman that's trying to better her life, trying to give happiness and fulfillment to her life by any means necessary, if you don't agree with it, be honest, be upfront, and exit. Exit so she can pursue. And I mean that because we can't move forward as a collective if we're fighting one another. We can't move forward as a collective if we're hating and nasty and disrespectful to one another. Trust me, black women, we have enough of that coming from other places. So it's about building confidence and self-esteem. And I want to talk about something that no one talks about. It's about love. And not just loving ourselves, but showing love towards one another, showing respect towards one another, showing admiration and loyalty towards one another. Stop putting your time and your energy into people, places, and things that do not matter to you. I know it's tempting. It's tempting to me when I get those review comments on my YouTube channel and people try to trigger me, and sometimes I almost go for the bait. But you know what I say? Poof, be gone. Block, be gone. Because it's a serious thing for me. This is not a joke. Okay? This is not something I'm doing just for fun. I could be doing so many other things, but I'm truly passionate at spreading this message of love, admiration, adoration, respect, and loyalty towards one another. And if you have to cut down friends that are like 100 down to 20, it's quality over quantity. It's quality over quantity. I want to make sure I said that right. But it's really important that we do this. And the reason why is we're not being told the truth, women. I'm an HR director. There's a lot of things I can't say because who knows if this video gets out, how far we'll go. But there's women of other demographics. They are doing stuff for each other. They are supporting one another. They're just not as vocal. Black women, we talk too much. We say what we're going to do. We announce it. We put it on billboards. No, we have to learn to be a little bit more in the cut. We have to learn to be not so vocal because people aren't going to put us in places if they know we're going to help one another. And we truly have to help one another. As an HR director, I can honestly say I've been in situations where I have to be neutral because I'm in between. And I've seen black women attacked. I've seen black women set up. I've seen black women made to fail. And there's other black women in the department around who do absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And I try to tell people that there's always going to be racism. There's always going to be challenges. If you're waiting for that stuff to stop, you might as well wait for the earth to stop spinning on its axis. That's never going to happen. What you can do, and I said this so many times, you have to focus what you can change. You have to focus on what you can do as an individual, as a community, and as a gender. Everybody else is doing it. I just did a video just now how I think there's Middle Eastern or East Indian descent Democrat who's been stomping for Hillary since she was in college. Name her Plant Hillary, cry when she voted for Bill, cry when she voted for Obama, cry when she voted for Hillary this last time around. And she broke up with the Democratic Party because she was shocked when she went to these campaigns and there was chock full of non-minorities with non-minority issues up front, with non-minorities not being proud to represent. They just tout that like a little sprinkle of seasoning just to get our vote. But when it comes to the overall objectives, we're not there. So do I blame them? Absolutely not. How many times am I going to tell black women the same story? Other women stick together and they don't talk about it, but I've seen it with my own two eyes. And that's how they grow. That's how they get economic power, financial freedom. They help each other. They don't put each other out and they don't talk about their business. I have learned so much things, probably in the last 5 years, that I've learned in my entire life. What other women do to be successful, what other women say to be successful, what other women are saying and doing behind closed doors to get whatever they want. And we're still here arguing about makeup and weave. Meanwhile, you have women that are putting in lips, booty, hips, and butt. And you don't see other non-minority women outing them. We talk about weave and stuff when most people don't even know the top wig weave maker in the world is Caucasian. She's Australian, and her typical wig costs $2,000. It starts at $2,000. Now, the last time I checked, Australia is not a predominantly minority country. It's just not. And her wigs are not for minority women. You're talking about upper class, non-minority, and stars. But guess what? They don't out each other. They don't have natural versus relaxed. There's too much partitions. And black women don't see it's made to have you fight amongst each other. I'll tell you my hard knock story, and I hope it doesn't get out too much, but I have to tell you, when I first became an HR director early in my career, my first time being a director in a senior position, I was given an assignment to review junior managers. And it was a piece of paper, it was a piece of paper, and it basically said the metrics on how they were to be judged. And I was giving hardcore statistics. When I say hardcore, black and white readouts of their performance. So it wasn't even me making an analyzation. It was me just basically reading a form. Okay, they got 10 in this area, they got 5 in this area, and me taking those numbers and putting it on that form. It's a review. You guys seen this before. I'm sure some of you guys watching this have gotten it before. And put it on the form and actually sit down with the manager and explain to them what each rating means and why they got that number. Now remember, to listen to the story, I did not pick this number. It's a metric that's produced based on their black and white performance. No pun intended, black and white. So one of the managers I was rating was Asian. I can't say much more than that because I don't want to get in trouble. But one of the managers I was rating was Asian. And she got a very low score across the board. And it's not like I gave it to her. This is what the readout said that she warranted in every area. It's supposed to be confidential. I'm HR. She signs it. That's it. The very next day, she came into the HR office, very upset. And I'm like, oh, what's happening to her? Like, she was like livid. And I'm like, what's going on right now? And then my manager at the time, because I was the, brand new HR director, my VP, who was an Asian woman, listen to this, wanted to speak to me. So I'm like, what did she want to speak to me about? This was your directive that I followed to a T. So she says, hey, Connie, I know we're doing reviews and we're in the very beginning of the very first quarter for the new year. And I know I told you to do this and I know you followed the direction, but I just want to revamp the reviews and make them more fair. And I'm like, they're all done. I took the time to fill in all the slots, all the areas, read the information, everyone signed. Yeah, but I just want to make sure that going into the new year that we're going to be using the same review. So since we're going to be using it, I just want to twerk it. So the last reviews we did for the past 2 weeks, we're just going to throw those out. It's not you. And I'm like, it can't be me. I'm just doing mechanics. I'm just filling in slots. I'm like, how can I get offended? It's basically you telling me 5, 10, 15, 20, and I take 5, 10, 15, 20 and filling in the blanks and tell the person why they got 5, 10, 15, 20. Everything is a readout. So she was like, yeah, blah, blah. So I realized that because she saw a networking, she saw an opportunity, and she was able to connect with my boss over my head as if I did something and got the whole review revamped. But listen to this. This is the funny part. We had a certain deadline to get these reviews in. So I would have to do all this work. But since she said she was revamping the system, listen to this. If she sees this, she gonna know. Out of mercy. She gonna know. So she was like, okay, I need to revamp this. Girl, this lady never revamped it. I chased her for a month straight. And to document myself, I only corresponded in email. She would text me, she would call me, I would not reply. Everything I did on email because I wanted people to see that I couldn't do the review because she said she was revamping and changing the actual review form that I needed to complete the reviews. So literally about 2 weeks, we had a deadline of 2 weeks where I had to get everything done. And I had still didn't get this form. So finally, one of the big bosses, big boy, came in and was like, hey, Connie, can I speak to you for a minute? And who authorized this new form? I'm like, my boss, here's the emails. Boom. I don't know what happened to my boss, but she wasn't there. I feel bad. No, not really. I don't care. She wasn't there after 3 weeks. I made sure I documented every single conversation. And I told him, hey, I was told that she is going to revamp the actual documentation. And he was like, no, this is a mega billion-dollar corporation. We use this form company-wide. So supposedly my current manager got moved, quote unquote, to a different location because it was showing stark favoritism towards another employee. You think it's a coincidence they both were Asian? I don't. You think it was a coincidence that she risked her job and almost got terminated to like forge the creation of a new form for reviews just to make sure that person doesn't get a low score? Black women, we don't do that for each other. And I'm not asking anyone to risk your job, but we too much on this, I got bills to pay. You're going to stay having bills to pay if we don't network, if we don't connect, if we don't form an economic force. So all these wonderful things I talk about, whether it's medical sales, whether it's real estate and developing real estate and investing in real estate, whether it's learning about stocks markets and investing and getting us as black women into the stock market, it doesn't matter if we don't have a collective. And we don't need 10,000 people. If we get just a certain amount of solid, like-minded people to go forward, they can truly make a change. Some of the most tiniest demographics in the world have a lot of financial power, and I admire that. I really do. No hating here, because once you work as a collective, you don't need 10,000 people. If you got 500 people who are highly concentrated and focused on success, focus on moving forward, and don't give any heat to that noise. Meaning that Black women, this is what I'll say, I'm the same way too. We wear our heart on our sleeve. We're not the kind who save anger coupons. We don't get mad and be like, I'm gonna save this anger coupon for later. We write that check immediately. Somebody give us space for anger, we're like, oh yeah. And that just means we're honest. You know where you stand. That doesn't work in the business world. I've learned the hard way. I've had lunch and dinner with people who were trying to fire me the very next day or trying to block me from a promotion because they saw me as a challenge or someone in their way, or they saw me as competition, or they were intimidated the very next day. I have an 18-year career in this stuff, and I've seen all demographics, whether they're Hispanic, East Indian, Asian, Middle Eastern, Persian, whatever you want to call it, they stick together. They're not vocal about it. They don't go on YouTube about it. They just move in silence. So it's really important that we do the same. And you're going to have to purge some people. You're going to have to put some people out of your life because they're not on the same boat. And I'm going to be honest with you, those people can do more damage. If you know someone's an enemy, or someone doesn't like you, or someone doesn't agree with you, it's easy to keep that person away. They can do harm, but not as much as someone that you trust, not as much as someone that looks like you. You might let your guard down because you think you got things in common. You might have a false sense of community. Not as much as someone that you let inside and let too much deep. And I'm also going to say this. I'm not accusing black women of being nasty and whatever. That's not it. The truth is, a lot of black women didn't grow up with that love. A lot of black women didn't grow up with that attention. People didn't look them in the eye and say, you matter, you're important, I love you. A lot of black women didn't. I'm not talking about a boyfriend or a relationship. I'm talking about in your household. They weren't told that they were intelligent. They weren't told that they were precious. They weren't treated like they were precious. You got some black women that have been protecting themselves from they left the womb, and they were in defense mode, and they don't know how to switch over. They don't know how to switch over. So even when they're interacting with their own sisters, they're still untrustworthy of each other. They're nasty to each other. They don't know how to love each other. And it's human psychology. No one's born like that. Human beings are 99.9% the same. It is your social environment. It is the way you're interacted with that makes a profound change in who you are as an adult. And people don't want to talk about that. If you grew up as a black woman having to constantly defend yourself, defend how you look, defend your face, defend your style, defend every single aspect about you, and you got to constantly explain from hair to makeup to clothing to perfume to your attitude to the way you sound. If you got to constantly do that, you're in defense mode. You're like Bruce Lee. You're like, whatcha? You don't know how to turn that down. And I'm here to say, acknowledge that and turn it around. Acknowledge that and go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with that. Doesn't mean you're crazy. Talk to someone that's a professional and really work on yourself. Because black women, we're not going to make it independently. I speak to black women who have masters in engineering, law degrees. I interact and they're getting stressed out because they have to work twice as hard to get half. How long can you do that for? You can't. And you're letting people who aren't black, no offense to anyone, who aren't females, telling you how you feel, telling you about your experience, telling you how you should react, and telling you that your experiences aren't real. One thing I respect is people experiences. If somebody has a position that I don't agree with, I just say, I don't agree with it. But I will never tell a gay man or a white woman or an Asian woman that her personal experiences with the world aren't valid, because unless I get into some zombie or some kind of exorcism where you take the spirit of me and put it in her body, I don't know what it's like to be those people. I know what it's like to be me. But you don't need to be validated. Let me say it again. You don't need permission to be validated for your experience. You don't need permission to acknowledge your own pain. You don't need allowance or reassurance from nobody. Free yourself. And stop wasting time and energy being triggered by crap. I used to be like that when I was younger. I used to let people control me. And that's what it is. When you allow somebody to affect you, when you allow somebody to, make you react, that's power. Why do you think people say nasty things? Think about it. Why do people say nasty things? People say nasty things, not just to be nasty, but it's control because they're hoping I kick, you block. You know, I punch, you blink. They want a reaction. It's control. I'm not going to lie. I used to do it. I used to love it. I used to do that to my enemies and get them where it hurts. And they gave me that power and I got high. So I'm telling you, don't be triggered. And the way to do that is work on your confidence. And even if you don't have confidence, look in the mirror every morning and tell yourself, look yourself in the eyes and say, you're worthy of love. Okay? You're worthy of attention. You are worthy of everything you've ever wanted. Say that to yourself. Adore yourself. Worship yourself. And it does not matter. You don't need to be validated by others. And you have to purge those people out of your life who aren't on the same boat. You have to purge those people who are going to question you when you're trying to move forward. If you made a goal, whether it's personal, whether it's professional, you don't need to validate and explain. Unless these people are paying your mortgage, paying your car note, paying your student loan, unless they're doing something for you and you have to come to an agreement before you get funds, which is not the case. I'm just being sarcastic. Then, yeah, perhaps you want to listen to them. But that's not the case. I'm being sarcastic. So you really need to free yourself. And I'm not saying I'm perfect. I had to work years being in corporate, being a minority, being a woman and looking younger than my age. You know, people didn't expect me to have that knowledge and have that leadership skill. I truly had to be able to have that confidence. And I had to practice. I had to coach myself. I had to be consistent. I had to read books. And I had to keep a small circle. And my circle was big, got smaller. And it got smaller and smaller because I just had to. It was nothing I can do. And it wasn't, I want to talk about this trend people have about cutting people off. I don't believe in that. When I say purge, if you change your habits, you're like, Connie, what's going on? If you change your focus, if you make a decision to better your life, you don't have to go around and I'm cutting people off. There's no need for that. I'm going to tell you something personal. When I went to lose weight, I had a circle of friends that weren't supportive. I had a few friends that said, oh, you're meant to be whatever weight you are, or, whatever it is. You're a black woman. You're a big bone. And they would say that to me, and that's not where I wanted to go. Did I formally cut them off? Did I do that? No. Guess what happened? I spent my time at the gym. I spent my time with the trainer. They were hanging out at Shake Shack. I was hanging out at the smoothie bar. They spent their time watching movies and eating popcorn. I spent my time learning about fitness and taking nutrition classes. If you take the proper steps, okay, to improve your life, it's like a natural evolution. It's like the butterfly it's like the caterpillar turning into the butterfly. He doesn't have to make an announcement. He just goes up that tree. He wraps himself in that cocoon. He doesn't say anything. He closes his eyes and he works his magic. He don't have to go around to all the insects. Yo, I'm cutting you off, bee. Bounce. Spider. Right here, spider. We done. That's negativity. That's almost like attention, as if you don't want to change and you're hoping to have some reason not. It's just a waste of energy. Put your energy into what matters. Stop giving people your power and purge, purge, purge. So how do you purge? Be dedicated to the steps that you know you need to take to make that change. How do you purge? Don't feed in to the backlash and the negativity from people. That's giving people power. Why do you think our president, listen to this, goes on Twitter so much? Why do you think Donald loves Twitter? The reason why he loves it is because he gets a rise out of how people react to his words. Whether you're pro-Trump or not, I'm not going to get into politics, but the fact is, look at the impact his words have, a few words on Twitter. It's monumental. Imagine if nobody reacted to it. Imagine if the media would just stop talking about it. Imagine if he tweeted and no one didn't instantaneously post across the screen. He would stop. It's not about self-expression. It's about me getting a reaction and controlling people and being able to get a rise when I want it. When I say it, you do it, you rise. You can't do that. And black women, that's our biggest opportunity. It's something that I work on. It's something that I'm getting very good at. And I always say, what is this action going to do? If you react to something, is it going to help me with my goal? Is it going to help me build my economic empire? Is it going to help me put money in my bank, money in my account? Is it going to do any of those things? So if it's not doing any of those things, what is it really doing? It's giving that person power over you. It's giving that person a way to get over you. It's giving that person control over you. Black women, we don't have the luxury to be petty. Petty is for people that are successful and bored. Petty is for people that have nothing to do. We celebrate being petty. Petty is energy. Petty is time. And guess what? Guess what? Time is money. We don't have time to sit around and patty cake with people who are not even going to help us. And I'm not saying you can't react, but the best revenge is living well and concentrate on our issues. So if you have people in your circle who are not reflective of your goals, people in your circle who are not reflective of what you want, just keep going. Don't even engage. Just be like, just keep going, because it's like a banana. The layers will peel off. And when I started losing weight and more weight and more weight and more weight, and I started polishing myself and wearing makeup and dressing differently, those people just disappeared. It was like overnight. I didn't have to make an announcement. I didn't have to do a meme on Facebook. Those people just got out of my life like that. And the reason why they were able to, get out of my life is because I was going to a different path. I put all my energy, all my time, my money too, into going towards a certain goal. So the first thing you have to do a good purge is make sure you know your goals. Take a book, get an action plan. You can even go on Google and write how to set goals. Look it up. If you need help, you can message me. And the first thing you got to do is have clear, concise, and simplistic goals that you know how to get to. Once you start putting that goal down, how do I achieve these goals? And keep them private. If your goal is to marry the Incredible Hulk, or your goal is to, be something phenomenal, sometimes even letting people know about your goal is a way for it to fail, because that's energy. And I believe that. They said it in the book that giving too many people knowledge of your plans is the surest way to fail. So you want to network with people who are on the same page. You want to connect to people who are on the same page. And it's a natural purge. It's like a natural thing, a natural cleanse. And you don't have to worry about, how am I going to tell this person? How am I going to tell that person? You don't have to worry about any of that, because once you're doing what you want to do for you to make yourself happy, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And this is what I mean, as a black woman, our biggest challenge is giving up our power. Stop reacting in the moment. Take a step back. Focus on your goal. Let them throw rocks and stones. Let them go. Put every single piece of energy and effort into moving forward. And you have to, every other demographic of female does that. They don't get distracted. They're like ninjas. They go straight ahead. They attack the target. Go. And that's the way we have to be. Whether it's your family, whether it's your friends, whether it's your community, whether it's a stranger. And that's what gets me too. Don't let strangers affect you. Build your confidence. I have a secret. I'm going to share my secret. I love Kanye. People think I'm crazy. I adore him. I think his eccentric behavior, his ridiculous ego, that's the way to be. You have to, and he's rich, he's famous. It worked for him. You have to love yourself. You have to be crazy about yourself. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the world is a freaking AK-47. The world is a semi-automatic. You know why? It will keep aiming at you going for you. It will keep gunning for you. It will do whatever it takes to break you down, to dismantle you. And if you don't have a bulletproof vest times 10, if you don't have a layer of confidence, if you're like, oh, I'm humble, save that humble for charities, save that humble for nonprofits. I live in New York. If you want to come and do charities with me, I do Catholic charities, I do St. Jude, I do the National Wildlife Federation, I do environmental charities. If you want to give your heart to something, come and meet me. Come message me and we can meet up and we can go out in Manhattan and do some charity work. But besides that, save that love and generosity for what matters. The reason why we hate Kanye is because we know he don't care. Kanye don't care. He do whatever he wants. And he does what makes him feel good. The only distinction I don't like is when he has to put other people down so he can stay on top of them. That's going too far. But my whole point is he has a rock solid, unshakable ego. You know, nobody's perfect, but that's the way we gotta be. You can't be concerned what people say, what people do. You can't be so concerned with someone like a stranger. And the sad thing about that is, as an HR director, as someone who sits neutral between parties, I'm going to tell you a secret. Most people don't like you. Most people can't stand you. They don't like you. Most people are fake. 99% of people don't care if you live or die. All those strangers you're breaking your neck for, all those people that you're like doing everything perfect for, they don't care. If you were to lose your job tomorrow and you lost your house or apartment and you need a place to stay, 99.9% of those people will not pick up the phone. 99.9% of people will not call you to check up on you. And these other people were investing time, money, and energy into. If I can tell you how many people that I did not want to, like, I've wasted so much time and energy and money into friends who are no longer in my life because I was a people pleaser. I was a person that wanted to do everything for everyone. And I just recently, I'm not lying, just recently I stopped because I'm helping people, giving to them, helping, and it's like they want to use you and they drop you down with a hat. So stop it. Like I said to myself, going forward, if there's not a charity, an organization, or a nonprofit, I'm not helping nobody no more. I'll do what I have to do, but I'm not going out of my way. I'm not going to overexert myself, whatever I'm comfortable doing, because I was overexerting myself before. I was stretching myself thin. So I'm telling you, as black women, build up your confidence, know your plans, and know your weaknesses. If you know you haven't had that loving household, if nobody's ever held you as a child and told you that you are worthy, if you grew up not feeling safe and protected, if you grew up having to be scared and not, constantly as a child defending everything about you, which is a pet peeve of me, a pet peeve of mine with black women, when you got to explain why you wear a weave, or why you wear a wig, or why you wear makeup, or why you went natural. Why? We're the only demographic of women that have to explain. Meanwhile, people buying lips, hits, butts, booties, people are doing whatever they want. Truly invest in yourself. Get therapy, go to a spa, take yourself on vacation. Truly invest in yourself and love yourself and surround yourself with other people. Build a community of love. Go out once a month, form a black collective, black female collective, married, single, divorced, and have a love fest. Talk about each other. What I love about my sister, what I love about my friend, what I love about her, and build each other's self-esteem. Work as a tight, close unit. I'm telling you, all this economic stuff I talk about, all this financial freedom I talk about, all this generational wealth I talk about, it's going to be almost impossible if we're broken inside. It's not possible. And you don't want to carry this label of being this broken person. And again, it's human psychology. A lot of us have to be completely honest. How did we grow up in our households? Were we loved? Were we protected? Were we cherished? Were we told that we were worthy of all the things we're trying to get? It starts from there. And I'm not blaming anyone. That's not what I'm here for. If you didn't get it, don't even waste a minute. Listen to me. If you didn't get it, don't waste a minute. Don't you dare waste a minute going back down memory lane. Don't give your energy. Make the changes you need to do. Go and get the help you need to get and move forward. And that's if you want to move forward. If you want to stay behind, if you want to continue to attack black women, if you want to continue to put down black women, if you want to continue not to network and not have a good intentions, then that's fine. Because I'm being very blunt. This is a very serious time for us. There's a lot of things going on in the news, a lot of things going on in the economic and finance world. There's a lot of things going on that if we don't get together as a collective, as women, and I'm not talking about not being with men, or it's not about that. Men don't want to be with no one who don't got their shit together. Men don't want to be with someone who doesn't love themselves enough to take care of themselves and value themselves and cherish themselves. That's why they have a book called Why Some Men Marry Bitches, or Why Men Marry Bitches. A bitch is someone that has respect for herself. A bitch is someone that loves herself. A bitch is someone that sees herself as a high value. It's that book. I think I have it over there. I should bring it with me. But if you read that book, it's not about being rude or nasty or condescending and it's about having a high sense of value. And you can't get that. You can't get to that part if you're not loving each other, connecting each other. Hug. Hug a sister. Don't let a week pass without you finding a sister to hug. And get comfortable. You know how many black women tell me they're not comfortable being hugged? That means you're not comfortable being loved. You're comfortable enough to have sex, but you're not comfortable enough to get a hug from man or woman. When I was a counselor, I used to hug black women, and you'll be surprised. Some of them would start, it was very emotional, they would start crying. And I'm like, wow, she's crying. And I would hug her even tighter, and you can just feel the pain. So it's not just about relationships, it's about our communities. It's about our families. It's about our friends. And it's about the social things we see around us. It's about seeing all of that. So this is a really important video. And I want you to show it to your daughters. I want you to show it to your friends. And I want you to show it to everyone. It starts with us. And it's not just you. It's your community. Loving one another. Smiling. When you're walking down the block, I challenge you, smile at a black woman. If she don't smile, have a wonderful day, sister. Start the trend. Be what we want from the world, no matter where you want to get from. That's up to you. But you have to start the trend. And the way you start it is with us and towards each other. A lot of mantras says, love yourself, love yourself. But it's hard to love yourself when everyone around you is hating one another. So truly open your heart. Be nice to one another. Smile, greet, help, network, build, speak about your goals, and see if you can attract other people. Go to networking events. See if you can attract other people. Whether your goal is real estate, investment in stocks and bonds, whether you want to be an entrepreneur and build your own business, find like-minded black women and form love. Sometimes I go into certain rooms on Facebook and say, black women, I love you. You're my sisters. You're beautiful. You're talented. You are worthy. And you got some people that private message me and they're crying, saying I haven't had that directed to me forever. There's people who've been in relationships who weren't looked in the eye and told, you're wonderful. I cherish you. You know, you are amazing. You are worthy of everything you ever wanted. And you don't have to wait for the opposite sex because, like I said, the men are attracted to women who feel that way. That's why we complain. Oh, how did she get that man? She's such a bitch. Because that man sees that she's valuing herself past a certain level, no matter what race it is. You might see the rudest, nastiest, most shallowest woman get the baddest husband, and you're over there like, what's going on? It's a symbol of respect. It's a symbol of confidence. That's what they're attracted to. So truly love one another, hug one another, protect. That's what I want to talk about. Protect. Before I go, protect. If you see someone clowning a black woman, don't engage. Don't. Because I don't see that happening with other races. Don't engage. If you see someone bullying a black woman, don't engage. If it's a song or it's something of a picture, do not engage. Don't feed it. Because you might think on the outside, that's not me. I can clown that person. I can judge that person. But tomorrow it'll be you. They don't see distinction that way. Tomorrow it'll be me. So don't engage, no matter what it is. Even if you have feedback and it's not positive, pull that black woman aside. Do it in private. That's what other women do. Because I've seen it in a professional setting. Especially then, I've seen women pull their own kind aside and they stick together. And I'm talking about 20 years of experience doing this. And you can use this analogy professionally, personally, in your home life. You need to have respect for one another. If we're complaining about being disrespected, I challenge you to respect one another. Respect your sister. Protect your sister. Be loyal to your sister. And if you don't get that from a collective, shrink, 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 shrink. It is time to shrink it. It is time to close that circle. It is quality over quantity. So it doesn't matter. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. I used to have so many friends. And if I had a party right now, I'd be lucky if I get 4 or 5 people. And that's fine, because those are 4 or 5 quality people. People that are beyond my friend. People that are my family. People that love me. People that share my vision, my goals, my dreams. And they're not energy vampires. Let me tell you what that is. You have people in your life that will keep you in their life as long as you make them happy. You're a court jester. You're a clown. So as long as you're making them laugh and smile and hee hee hee, the minute you get into a conflict, the minute you have a personal issue, and I've seen it, they're posting Oprah clips. I gotta cut people out of my life. Bitch, what are you talking about? Like, that's the whole point of a friendship. It's easy to be friends when the sun is shining and the birds are singing and you're singing like a freaking Disney character and you're like, I'm off to see the wizard. But it's much harder. It's much harder when somebody's going through depression, or somebody's having anxiety issues, or somebody's just having a lot of challenges in their professional or personal life, and the friends are like deuces. That's not a friend. That's an energy vampire. You stopped feeding them that constant high of joy. You stop feeding them, and they gone to the next person to suck, suck, suck. And I've had this experience my entire life because I'm very funny. I'm full of energy, and I have my down days. I have my down weeks. I have my down months. We're human. And in those instances, you see who's your friend. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Stay focused. Don't waste your time. Have your goals. Be persistent. You're never too late. You're never too old. I don't care if you're watching this video and you're 5,000 years old. You're Shang Tsung from Mortal Kombat. I don't give a damn if you're Raiden. If you're alive, you're breathing, you're hearing this, it's not too late for you to make those changes. I don't care if you've been bitter your whole life like some Cersei tea. You gotta be Jamaican for that. Bitter, bitter, bitter. I don't care. It's never too late to make that change. Don't hold on to it. I understand why people get that way. Where nobody's born like that. And black women, we don't go to therapy. We don't get psychologists. White women and white men get to say, oh my God, he's mentally ill. You see for yourself when you see the attacks that happen. What do they call them? He has problems at home. And, he's mental health. So we're laughing about it, but yet that alleviates somebody from doing something catastrophic. So why can't we, get the help that we need as women if we weren't loved and adored? If we didn't get that sense and feeling of protection, if we're constantly in defense mode and we can't get out of it, get it. You need it. And it's going to help you in every aspect of your life. It's going to help you to be confident. It's going to help you to have that ego you need. It's going to help you to go forward and stop giving your energy. If somebody can see this video right now and say that I am ugly, or I wear makeup, or I'm Jamaican, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, cool. Good for you. And I really mean that, because I used to chill with people that I thought loved me, and at the end of the day, they were gone. So it's like, it's not even real anyway. The people that are admiring you, half of them ain't telling the truth. If you could read their mind, you probably run for the hills and never come back. So do that purge. Write your list. You're going into the new year. Purge for the new year. Purge for the new year. Purge for the new year. And that doesn't mean to get dramatic. Kanye told me to purge. All y'all get out. That's not what I said. When you focus on a path and you walk that path, you're going to see people just drop off. That's it. So that's all. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and thank you for watching Hasput Economics, Hasput. Remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and don't forget that cute little bell at the side for notifications. Thank you so much for listening, guys.